Ha. Yeah, okay. So, hot damn, look at all these other people that came along when we weren't paying attention. Hi, everybody.
Hello.
How are y'all? Better have chocolate.
That was chocolate worthy.
That was chocolate worthy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big time.
Okay. Level 1. Yep.
Yes.
We didn't draw that exactly the way we wanted to, but whatever. You saw what we just did, right? We drew a vertical line and a horizontal line. Sort of opposites, right? Opposites is another word for duality, right? There's your hint. Level 1, duality. Sneer. We don't like duality. We're fed up with it. You know what we're also fed up with? I want to cuss a lot tonight. We're trying not to, but we really feel like it. Here's the worst cuss word you can come up with right here. People give us shit for saying fuck.
Get shit. Fuck.
Give us shit for saying fuck. Mary's saying all the cuss words in the book. Out frickin' come. Out frickin' come. This is your new nemesis right here.
Out fretting come.
Right here. Let's be serious, people. We know it's fun to make jokes and to add comments, and we appreciate that usually, but this is not the night. You guys do not want to miss what we have to say. So let's stick with the same energy, okay? You do not want to live in outcome. Cut off your hands and legs first. This will fuck you up. You cannot be Homo Spiritus if you're in outcome. This will kill your vibratory journey. This will take everything you've worked on for the last X number of years and it will destroy it. This is the last hurrah of the survival instinct. This is the last hurrah of Homo sapiens. This is it right here. It comes down to this moment. It's the choke point, right? We talked about it. The sands, you know, fall through here. We're at the choke point right here. As the solstice happens, choke point. You do not want to stay here. We won't let you. We'll sit here until you get past it. And we mean that. Veronica's freaking out. We don't care. There's plenty of chocolate. Yeah, we tell you to be serious, then we make a joke. We know. It's okay.
Can you give an example?
Yes. Yes, we will have examples. I'm trying to decide if we have to erase. We need more space. You'll remember that because we cussed at you. That's usually a good way to get you guys to remember. Cuss at them a lot and they pay attention. You think we just cuss for the fun of it? Okay. Same thing, longer line, right? Shit. Sometimes this pen doesn't write if we hold it the wrong way. Okay? Same thing as before. Got it? Oh boy, here it comes. Time. It's a fallacy. It's make-believe. It's pretend. You can ask the physicists. We don't like to even try to explain it the way they explain it. But it's fake. You decided.
Right.
Right? They don't know why there's time. They think there's time because the Big Bang happened and it sent time in one direction. Cool, that's a good enough reason. Time can go backwards, time can go forwards. You know time can stand still, and you absolutely know it can go slow and it can speed up. You've all done it, right? This is not surprise to any of you.
Right.
When you're in duality, you enter duality, level 1. You're moving along like this in level 1, typically. This is why people don't change. Where do you see a choice point? There's no choice point. Let's say you came here, right, and you had a choice point. Okay, I can make a big right turn or a big left turn. How many people want to make that kind of change? 1% maybe, right? So they don't. They don't even know left and right exists. The only reason they know left and right exists is in a dualistic position. I'm not going back. I'm not going left. I'm not going right. I'm only going up. Okay, fine. Forward, let's call it, not up. Because they're going forward, and there's only one outcome available to you if you're only going forward.
Yuck.
Yuck is right. There's only one outcome. And you must be a slave to time because you're headed toward the only thing you think is on the plate. The only option. Outcome. What outcome are you addicted to? Success. Retirement. Have a certain number of kids. Have a certain kind of wife. Have a certain kind of job. Have a certain kind of house. Be able to pay your bills on time. Not to be afraid is another outcome people want. I want to be safe is another outcome people want. Right? If you only have an outcome in mind, all you can do is walk the line of time. Do you understand? It pulls you. It pulls you toward it. That's all you've got. Hello. You've got level 1, duality, headed toward an outcome, stuck in time. Got it? We have to erase. Stuck in time. Stuck. We can't even have that duality word anymore. It's giving us the willies. What's the alternative to outcome?
Uncertainty.
Fascination. Uncertainty, yes. Fascination. As a destination, right? Fascination. Uncertainty is the experience. Fascination would be the destination. We got to get rid of this because it's just giving us the energetic wooga 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 wooga. Go away. We want the alternative. You say, fine. I know that a whole bunch of life is level 1. We've already talked about it. Duality exists. There's up, there's down. There's right, there's left. Right? Duality is part of the earth experience. Can't exactly ignore it. It's a fact. Right? You're either playing or you're not. You're an instrument. Right? Sound's coming out or sound's not. That's duality. Duality isn't inherently evil. Duality is like gravity. You know, do you hate gravity when you trip and you land on your face? Yes. You can be kind of pissed off at gravity. The rest of the time, you're pretty happy it's around. So it's not inherently evil. It's inherent. It just happens. Duality is part of the journey. It is not the slave master. And it has been. It has told you who you are. And what did the visionaries say? Not a good enough story. Level 1. Duality. Addiction to time. Duality and addiction to time. Level 2. Remember we did level 2 last time? We hate level 2. There aren't many things we hate. You hate level 2, that's why we hate it. You know why we hate level 2? It's just like a rat in a maze, isn't it? Just imagine, here you are, level 2. Options. All it is confusion. There's not enough complexity to have anything interesting really happening. And there's just enough complexity to fool you into thinking maybe something could happen. And every time you try, all you do is hit a dead end. It's annoying. Level 2 is annoying. Level 2 is also the place where people go, I'm a victim. Why? Because every time I turn a corner, I have a dead end. And every time I strive for outcome, I have an option and I just get confused. Should I go right? Should I go left? And if I go right or left, all I do is run into a dead end again. Can you imagine, just for a moment, living and that's it? That's all you get. Those 8 or 10 or 12 options. And at the end of each one is outcome that you're striving for and time trapping you. You get it?
Mm-hmm.
You, right?
Mm-hmm.
You, as light workers walking the 2012 shoot, whatever we're going to call it. This is your worst nightmare. This is your worst nightmare. That you would end up living here is your worst nightmare. And when you get scared, when you get low vibrational, when you get confused, and you go here, nothing good comes of it. And we mean by nothing good. You can't stop here. None of you stop here. But you know people who do.
Yep.
And sometimes when you have something come up, you might fall into this place inadvertently if you're not being conscious. Okay? You might let go of duality because you'll go, there's not only one option to this, right? There's not only one answer. I'm smart enough to know there's not just one answer. So you think, well, maybe there's like 4 more other answers. Like you don't let yourself actually have all the crayons, right? You just let yourself have a couple more because maybe I don't deserve it or I haven't worked hard enough or I don't have enough money or I'm not tall enough, right? If you stop here, you will drown in a sea of there's not enough juice for me. You can't live here. Don't let yourself even visit here. And if you're hanging out with people who live here, you need to stop. Did you hear us?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How often do we tell you that? 0. Don't. Just don't. Level 2 sucks.
Is there room for a question?
Not yet, but hold on to it. Level 3, right? Done. 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 Dun, 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 dun. Yeah? And now we're on level 3. There's a pull of time. It's still here. But what's fascinating, this is why time slows down. We'll say the pull of time is here. Right? Time is moving in this direction. But you're cruising along, doing time, da, 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 da. Oh, you might foots around over here. Oh, even better, you foots around over here, you can go here, you can go here, you can go here. This is when you lose yourself in a project, right?
Yeah.
This is when you're in the shower. The pull of time is weaker when you go deeper in the levels. When you insist on a dualistic approach to outcome, time has to run at a steady rate. But you can mess with the flow of time by exploring the deeper levels on the journey of fascination in uncertainty. Instead of the pull of time and the pull of outcome telling you that you must quickly and survival instinctly put the blinders on and not be challenged by the idea of floating around over here, because of course, you know, once we start to get into the deeper levels, it starts to look like this. And just think how much time you could slow down when it starts to look like that. Right? You get in there and it's a complex piece of music, right? Can you see it? Yeah. Here's just do-do-do, and then all of a sudden do-do-do-do-do, and then all of a sudden, you know, you've got Beethoven and stuff. We can't do Beethoven, but maybe someday. You could. All of a sudden you're in here. Do you see how this takes away the pull of time?
Mm-hmm.
You know what this also lets you do? This lets you get younger. Because the rest of time is passing. relativistic. We're not saying that right, but we don't care. You know, Einstein, back to him, right? They said if you go zooming off into space, all of a sudden everybody else ages while you don't. Close enough to the explanation of a very complex thing. Has to do with black holes. You don't need a black hole to change your relationship to time. You need this. This will change time. Now, the key here is that fucking word outcome. We don't even want to write it again. We're just going to make an O down there at the bottom where we kind of don't even have to look at it. The internet people can barely see it. Down there. Why is his nose on top of his eyes? We're not sure. This is the sad outcome face. We made a sad outcome face before, huh? Outcome's always been a sad face.
Equal signs.
Yeah, in the equal signs presentation. We can't, he bugs us so bad, but we actually have to honor him enough to give him eyes in the right place. The sad outcome face. When you want outcome, you're going to end up with a sad face. Now, some of you are probably going, what are we talking about? We're going to explain it right now. You're having an experience. You're having opportunities. You're having exploration. You're in 3rd, 4th, even 5th level. Time is in the palm of your hand. You're aging slower than the rest of the population because you're manipulating how you relate to time. And all of a sudden you go, but when am I going to have? When am I going to get? Will I get it? Will it happen? Will I get the job? Will I get the house? Will I get the partner? Will I get the new shoes? Will I get the car? Whatever. As soon as you bring sad outcome face into the picture, you're a slave to time again. Because you're in duality, which is I either get my outcome or I don't. Instead of I explore in uncertainty and fascination just as much of the stuff that intrigues me as possible. And because you create your reality, you create your reality. This is how it works. You create your reality by where you put your attention and how you react to your creations. Right. And you reinvest your creation of your reality by your reactions to your creations, and again, 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 and again. Not, oh God, I better have it if I don't have it. Racing time. Lowering your vibration, aging your body. Killing yourself through capitulation to the survival instinct spheres. When the survival instinct says you must and you agree, that's why you age. Outcome devastates. We don't know how many powerful words we can use. Outcome devastates your vibrational level. So if you have, for instance, we'll just pick one of Veronica's because it's always fun to pay attention to hers. She went on a date, another one. All these dates. It didn't go so well. We thought it was fascinating.
It was that.
It was fascinating, we'll give it that. At the end, she was sad and felt disappointed, right? Because, you know, you're all looking for Mr. and Ms. Right, or whatever your version of that is. Whatever your outcome is. As you're driving home from your, quote, failed exploration of whatever it, quote, is you're trying to get. You see how nasty this is? We have to use quotes just to say it. Her initial impulse was, oh God, it would have been so nice if he had just been, or things like that. Then we said to her, look, here's the deal. We're glad you're enjoying this, Mary. You can chime in a moment. If you simply said, what is. I had an experience. I had some interesting experiences. I had some fun experiences. I had some experiences I hope to never repeat. And go fascination. instead of, and it didn't equal, and it didn't turn out, and it didn't become, and he's not the love of my life, and I'm not going to be living on the beach, and all those other things that were in there. Don't get us started, because there's so much about that date that we could riff on. We're not going to do it. We are not going to do it. When she dropped the outcome that didn't happen, then the disappointment for the outcome that didn't happen had to go.
Right.
And then it became an experience that she could be fascinated about. Instead of sadness, frustration, fatigue, disappointment, discouragement. We have tons of adjectives for this, trust us.
She told me she was going to chew her arm off.
So she was going to chew her arm off.
That's pretty frustrating.
We recall that now, actually, her saying that she's so frustrated with dating she's about to chew her arm off. That's a good reminder. We'd forgotten that. When you let go of outcome, you can be in fascination. We've told you for weeks, fascination is the path. Fascination is the blood of the Homo spiritus individual. Survival instinct was the blood of the Homo sapiens, right? Capitulation to the survival instinct, managing the survival instinct, dealing with the survival instinct, having it fuck you up left, right, and center, but keep you breathing, yay! Fascination is the lifeblood of the Homo sapien, or Homo spiritus individual. Fascination. Fascination allows you to do these deep explorations that take you out of the time stream that everyone else is living, allow you to age at a different rate, allow you to experience more. Because you see, if you imagine the time for in the clock ticking, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 hours, right? If you are just over here a little bit and then back, that's like kind of being in the shower, right? But if you're over here having Beethoven moments, time is not zooming past you. Are you getting this? Mm-hmm. Are we explaining it good enough?
Yeah.
Because you let's say this is hour 1. This isn't part of our picture. This is just time, right? Tick 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 tick. Hour 1. Tick 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 tick. Hour 2. Most people are going hour 1, hour 2. You're going hour 1 or hour half. The clock is not ticking away. Do you get it? Mm-hmm. You're cramming not cramming, you're exploring all of this in the period of time other people are being slaves to the survival instinct and overwhelmed by fear. You're going. Now, of course, we draw this down to what, level 4? It's about all we can draw. 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 we got in there. But we told you before, it goes down to 10. It just in our imagining. It goes down to infinity in reality. And here it is, folks. This is why, when you ensoul the human form, truly, you can do anything because you don't have time involved. You don't age. You don't need food. You don't need to drink water unless you want to, unless it's fascinating, because time stops as far as your experience of it. Now, what happens when time stops? Well, you create your reality. So time stops in the way it's been before, but time passing in the way it's been before has only been to control you. Time passing has been a control. We'll compare it. There have been times when we've talked about some of the organized religions, right? And we're not making a big statement about organized religion right now. We're just using it kind of as a comparison. That sometimes you have been able to say that you've recognized that organized religions like to control you. You know, control your access to the divine through priests and pastors and others. Tell you how to connect with God through written materials. Mm-hmm. That's what time has done for all of you as well. Now, we don't expect you to necessarily be able to work with time in the way we're describing right now. What we're telling you is this is the truth of time. You don't need to focus on how to fuck around with time like this. We're just putting it in the mix. What you need to focus on is not letting outcome drive you. It's all happening for you, not to you. Fascination is your lifeblood. The opportunity to know who you are by the reactions you have to the creations you're making, not by your outcomes. There was a discussion in one of Veronica's interviews lately about success and failure, and the idea of failure. It's a very important concept to make peace with. You can only fail if you believe you can only fail if you believe in success. And you can only avoid failure, or you can only avoid failure by changing your relationship to the concept. There's no such thing as failure. There is such thing as experiences that went a direction that was unexpected that you wouldn't want to repeat. And that's not just linguistics. That's energetic truth. But you're a creator. You created it regardless. You created it regardless. You created it regardless. Any thoughts to the contrary are not worthy of you, as the Visionaries explained. We don't know if we told you before, so while we have the picture up here, this works with alternative expressions, right? You see, if there's no time, if time isn't driving you in a straight line, then down here is 1592, and over here is 300 BC, and over here can be whatever you want it to be.
Right.
And this is how you access alternative expressions as well.
Right.
Is by quantum shifting rather than linear movement between the different places where you have all these little layers available to you. That's why when you change something, when you change your relationship now to an experience that you're having in an alternative expression, which of course is past and future lives, that's how come you can change its pull on you in this lifetime. And that's how come it has a pull on you in this lifetime. It's because really you're all one, even with your alternative expressions. And they're all involved. Just trying to review here, make sure we brought up everything that we wanted to bring up about this for now. That's probably enough of that. We should talk to you guys now. Okay. You were...
Yeah,
Microphone.
I'm not quite sure how to word my question.
When you're ready. You can always just bang around and we'll see what happens.
Okay. So, so I'm experiencing some people that appear to be on second level. And, you know, at first I saw it as, you know, two people just kind of reminding each other to stay awake.
Mm-hmm.
But it becomes frustrating when you see someone talking consciousness but not walking it.
Mm-hmm.
And then my thought is, you know, it's time for me to just move out of this situation. And where I find myself getting stuck is in this place of, is this situation to show me an old version of me to then let go of the piece that was in me that I was holding on to, not understanding somebody else's reaction to me, and it's time to move? Or, you know, at what point do you include some tolerance and patience when you know that, you know, when myself was, you know, at a certain place, if everybody had abandoned me, I don't know what I would have done. So I'm sort of...
Yeah, but you have to be really careful here, is that you're emanating your current truth, which is level 3 and 4. And those levels, of course, as a reminder, are the levels where you know you create your reality and you take responsibility for the reactions to your creations.
Okay.
Pretty much, that's the summary of 3 and 4. You have to continue to emanate that. When you're in experiences with level 2 people, the temptation is to do exactly what you're doing, which is to find a reason, justification, explanation, understanding of why they're in their life and what they're doing, and you know, you guys kind of grind on it. Well, I created it, so why did I create it? Skip over that and go to, I'm going to emanate what my truth is in this moment.
Okay.
You're not abandoning them because you're emanating. You're being a model of not a model of what it is you want, no, what it is you found works past the level they're on, rather than digging around as to why they're showing me level 2. We've told you in the past, your external world is a reflection of your internal journey. So that's where you're getting stuck. And that's still true. However, you cannot process on that level at this time. You have to process on the level of, my external world is a reflection of my internal journey, great, and I'm going to go emanate what I know is true, rather than dig around as to why I'm manifesting this level 2 stuff in my life. I'm going to say, forget it. I'm not interested in knowing why. Understanding is overrated, and it's not worth digging around in why. What's interesting is going straight to emanation of the truth, straight to emanation of the opportunity, straight to emanation of the change I learned by passing through that level, rather than the why I'm experiencing that level again.
Okay. And remembering that it's not my job to teach anybody else anything, that I just speak my truth, walk away, no matter how much I care or love the person. Yeah. It's not my fault if their feelings get hurt.
No. It's not your fault if their feelings get hurt, and you just have to watch that when you're emanating your truth, you're not trying to change them, but instead showing an alternative.
Okay.
You're not trying to change them, you're showing an alternative. So someone does something really unconscious or, immoral or whatever that you don't agree with, you don't want to be around, and you just say, this doesn't work for me. And then you move out of it energetically or physically or both, and their reaction to you will inform your next move, because you continue to emanate your truth. You continue to emanate your truth. You continue to emanate your truth. We're not really skipping a step, but we're changing the emphasis here. Because the emphasis used to be your external world is a reflection of your internal journey. So something happens in your world and you say, what about me made this happen? Right? We've done enough of that.
Okay.
You've learned a lot about that. Now it's, my external world is creating my internal journey. So my external world is a reflection of my internal journey. So I'm going to change my internal journey by moving completely out of this. Not into a deeper exploration of why it's going on. A complete shift out into... So instead of banging around, bonk, 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 trying to hash it out within yourself, we've learned all we need to learn about doing it that way.
Okay.
Now, we're going to go up here, go in here, and be in a completely different space, emanating your truth, exploring the fascination that you have about your truth, rather than bonk, 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 bonking about a creation that is on a different level than you want to occupy.
Thank you.
Sure. You can bonk around on level 2 all you want, but we don't suggest it. Yeah.
It's very boring.
It's boring and it's painful and it's unfortunate. And it also causes your physical bodies too much stress. That's the worst part of level 2, is the vibratory fuck up that it does. Level 1 duality is so, pre-programmed in you. You can do duality with really no vibrational damage, right? Okay, duality, stop, go, right? Traffic. I can do it. I don't like it, but I can do it, right? It's when you get into level 2 where you're not in duality and you're not in consciousness. You're in this in-between place of confusion your bodies do not like. So there's a lot of reasons why level 2 is no good.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
The why. I see so often how we get caught in that.
Yeah.
And I have to know why. I have to understand this. I have to understand that. And then other people tell you the same thing. You don't understand this. You don't understand that. And I think if we get out of that, and that's what I like about this, then we're out of the time. I couldn't help but think of the outcome as kind of a time bomb.
No,
It
yeah.
looks
Looks like a little
like a
time
time
bomb.
bomb.
He does look like a time bomb.
Yeah.
We think somebody on the internet said he looked like a bomb too. We didn't think he looked like a bomb. We're just going to hold that thought. Crap. Why is trapped, right? Why is, or I got to understand it. I got to understand it. I got to understand it. Does this look like the hamster wheel mind to anybody else? Right? I gotta chew on it. 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 It's gotta be in here somewhere. It's gotta be in it. Well, I'll try it over here. Just chew on it. I'll 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 just chew on it. Right? We probably should have done it in level 2, but that's what we were trying to show is, you know, it's a level 2 thing. And the only option is to bounce back and forth, back and forth. How many times have you guys done this, right? Back and forth, back and forth. Is it over here? Nope, it must be over here. Is it over here? Nope, it must be over here. Duality, bounce back and forth. Hamster wheel mind. And then you think you're clever, and you go, well, I'll go over here. Do it over here for a little while. Think about this person over here that I didn't like going on a date with either. And then I'll go down here. This date really sucks down here too. I'll think about this one.
No, it's, well, maybe he is okay. That's the spinning.
No, maybe he was just nervous.
Yeah,
Maybe he was just
okay.
nervous. Maybe he was just nervous when he took his Viagra in the middle of our date. After asking, "Are we getting along?" So that's what you're talking about, the why.
Yes.
And this is why you guys don't like the idea of understanding, right? Digging for understanding you don't like, because you inherently know it's the rat in the maze with no hole to get out. This is why 1,000,000 years ago we said understanding's overrated, because the quest for understanding doesn't give you peace. It gives you bunka 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 bonkers.
Circles.
If you're lucky, you get circles. Most of the time, you just get duality, 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 right? Okay.
You're always returning to the same place. You keep, and then you beat yourself up over it.
Yeah.
Oh, because I don't understand who I am, what I am.
Yeah.
Why do I have to know what I am and who I am?
Yeah.
I emanate my own truth of who I am and what I am. Why does anybody else have to tell me that?
Yeah. See, that's the difference right there between going from level 2 to level 3. Is I have to understand, I have to understand, I have to understand. Why do I have to understand? How about I just emanate?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Feel it?
Mm-hmm.
That's the difference between level 2 and level 3. And how many people do you know do make that jump? Zoom. Very small number. Go ahead.
Chewing.
Yeah, it's like, what is that number? It will grow.
Just a briefly experience happened today. It has to do with my condo.
Yeah.
And I just want to explain that it sent me in a different direction.
Okay.
And I realized the outcome, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And I discovered that the corporation assignment for my deed of trust was made back in March 25th of this year. In other words, somebody else, in other words, the entity, the bank, filed that. Well, that has to do with everything about my condo.
Okay.
And I suddenly realized, how come I didn't know this before?
Yeah.
And then I said, it doesn't matter. The point is that whatever the outcome is, what's going to happen is I discovered this, and I will go into court with it, and I will experience the fascination of watching what happens.
Yeah. And if you're fixated on a specific outcome, then you either get it or don't, success or failure, duality, and you don't allow for soul's insight, you don't allow for infinite possibilities. See, outcome takes away everything. That's why we said, icky poo yuck. Outcome will take away everything. Right, Randy? You had an idea of what your Groupon ad might get you. And if you had a number in your head and that number didn't get reached, and you said, I'm a failure because that number didn't get reached, and you could have, right?
It felt like that for a moment, too. Yeah.
It could have taken away all the good, quotes, good stuff. It could have taken away all the, quote, success you had if the number, the goal, the I have to get this certain amount or doesn't happen. Outcome, 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 outcome. That's why people set these 5-year plans, 10-year plans, 20-year plans. Veronica's favorite author that has been helping her along the way, Joe Conrath, said, you want to set goals that are within your ability. So it's not, I'm going to get a publishing contract. It's, I'm going to send 10 queries a month, right? Something that you can do. That's not an outcome, that's an exploration. An outcome would be, I have to have a publishing contract by, December 2012. Or I'm a failure.
Right.
Instead, it's, I'm going to do these things that I can do and then be in exploration of the uncertainty and the fascination in the process. And that's the same thing you're talking about.
Yeah.
I'm just going to go in there with this new information, drop my bomb, and see what happens. And if you fixate on an outcome, you limit your exploration. Because remember, outcome is up here. You want to live over here, down deep in these layers. Does this make sense to you guys?
Yeah.
Yes.
You're feeling it. Yeah. Anytime you put an outcome on an experience, you can just imagine you're on the train tracks, to time going by fast, to aging happening fast, to you being in community with people who are also fixated on outcome. Now, we're not in judgment about people who are fixated on outcome. We're just in reality of the assessment of the truth of their experience, which is they're a bunch of unhappy people living unhappy lives that don't give them much satisfaction. If they had something else going on, you would turn on the news and open up the newspaper and you would hear different stories.
Right.
Period.
Right.
Don't do outcome. If you find yourself fixated on outcome, one of the ways you know is because you feel like a failure. You're worried about what success looks like. Now, you take it all the way down to, I'm not going to fixate on the outcome of paying my rent on time or some of your stuff. I'm not going to win my court case. When you take away your desire for outcome at that level, you better have your sword out, because the survival instinct is going to want to fight you. But you know what the truth of the survival instinct is that it's the fuel for Homo sapiens, and fascination fuels Homo spiritus. So you be fascinated. And when you're afraid, be fascinated instead. What did we say? Fear or fascination, right? We said it months ago. See how it all comes together? It's amazing, isn't it? Veronica's impressed, so we're letting her say that's amazing. Go ahead.
I think it's the goodness in myself, in my own fascination that I live in. And in that respect, I go out of time. I feel out of time. Today I felt out of time because I looked, at first I looked back and said, why was it that I didn't see this? And then I say, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It made no matter. It was just this sort of sudden elation of, wow, here it is now. It's presented to me. And I didn't go out there or there. I just stayed with that feeling.
Sure.
And so the excitement of just being present with it.
And you have to understand that it is created, you created it today.
Yeah.
You created it with a different date on it, but you still created it today. It may not have actually existed when your calendar matched the date on that document. It may not have actually existed. But you created it today with that date for your fascination and your exploration of your truth and your emanation of your ensoulment.
Yeah, and the thing was that I had gone down to the quarters office a number of times. I'd gone through all those documents.
Yeah.
And
So-
guess what? This document suddenly showed up.
Well, point taken, right?
Yes. Thank you.
Because if you're not a slave to time, then time is within your purview to change.
Wow.
Because you can make a quantum jump out. If you can make a quantum jump into alternative expressions, don't you think you can go back to March?
Oh, yeah.
Well, let's fucking hope so. Because after all, that would be pretty weird if you couldn't. Now,
I'm tempted to share my new magnet saying that I got, because it's kind of funny. To me, it fits to this.
well then get up there and share it.
And if it's not, I apologize, but
Well,
I think it's
you know.
funny. Is it? Sure. I got a new magnet that says, I dream of a world where chickens can cross the road without having their motives questioned. And that's what that one says to me.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. So we have, we're at a choice point. Somewhere right here, let me think. We can either split and let the rest of the council come in, because they haven't talked for 2 weeks. Or we can take more of your questions.
Bless you.
So, anybody got a burning question? No? Are you all cooked? You have a burning question. Okay. A half burn.
Burning questions.
It sounds like something we need preparation H for.
So one, with this March thing.
Yeah.
So if you can, I know the time bends.
Yeah.
And if you could move, could you change history?
Yes.
History only exists
As
from
we
your
believe
perspective.
In a time, yeah,
Yes.
from a book,
Yeah.
right.
Because you have plenty of people who disagree with history.
Okay, so then alternative expressions.
Yeah.
So then, this damsel in distress that I carry.
Yeah.